Hello everyone. Today we are discussing with in our DBMS topic. One of the topic is ER model diagram. ER model diagram mainly definition is ER model stands for an entity relationship model. It is a high level data model. This model is used to define the data elements and relationship for a specific system. That means ER model stands for an entity relationship model. It is a high level data model. This model is used to define the data elements and relationship for a specific system. That means the data elements and the relationship particular main data and data relation in between. So second point is it develops a conceptual design for the database. It also develops a very simple and easy to design view of data. Okay, third point, it in ER modeling, the database structure is pot- portrayed as a diagram called an entity relationship diagram. Okay, this is three different types of similar definitions. So which one you can choose, which one you can write, all are acceptable, right? So for example, what is ER diagram? For example, suppose we are looking here. Suppose we design a school database. In this database, the student will be an entity with attributes like address, name, ID, age, whatever it may be, etc. The address can be another entity with attributes like city, street name, pin code, whatever it may be, extra details, etc. And there will be a relationship between them. So, for example, here one student will taken. So we are defining some different shape and the student ID, name, address, age, whatever it may be, more details are we are taken. So we are defining these different types of symbols. So how we are draw this table, this diagram, the shapes. We were designing different types of shapes. We will see. We will see forward topic. Okay. So mainly we are discussing here what is ER diagram, what is ER definition, and we are discussing one example briefly. So next topic is ER diagram components. So we are designing ER diagram. So what is ER diagram components? Mainly ER model can divide it into three different types of components model. First one is the entity, second one is the attribute, third one is the relationship. Here entity again divided into the one more method, weak entity. Okay, so we discuss later what is entity and what is weak entity, what is strong entity. Okay, so then just briefly discussing here. So next one is attribute. Attributes again divided are so many types. First one is the key attribute, composite attribute, multi-valued attribute, derived attribute, okay, etc. So these are very important attributes, sub attributes. So next one is the relationship, ER diagram relation. So we are drawing ER model. So these are ER model entity, these are ER model attributes. These four or five topics are ER model attributes. And third one, ER model relationship. So ER model one to one, ER model relationship, one to many relationship, many to one relationship, many to many relationship. Okay. Okay. So now we are discussing ER diagram components one by one. Okay. So first one is entity. So what is entity? So entity is the main first component of ER model. So entity means an entity may be an object or class or a person or a place, whatever it may be you are taken, anything. There is a one object or class, person or place, whatever it may be, man. There is a particular thing we can uh, consider as an entity. So in entity, in the ER diagram, an entity can be represented as a rectangle. So we can take one particular class, object, person, thing, whatever it may be. So an object, an entity can be represented as a rectangle. So we can design here one rectangle is an entity. So this one is one entity, this one an entity. So both entity can be connected with a one relation. So relation here, this is a third topic. So now we are just discussing on what is entity. Okay, right? Are you understood? So entity, what is entity? We are given here. So entity then weak entity. So an entity that depends on entity, another entity. Sorry, an entity that depends on another entity is called weak entity. So that means this entity, this object can depend one more object. That because uh, the dependent object value will based on another object. So that is called weak entity. The weak entity doesn't contain any key attribute of its own. So the weak entity is represented by a double rectangle. Okay. So here before we are discussing, consider entity is only draw here the rectangle, but weak entity is double rectangle. So the weak entity is represented by a double rectangle. That means we can take one loan. So after we taken the loan, we can pay the installment. That means the installment, not a one installment, the many installment can fulfill the loan. So that's why here we are represent the installment is the multiple EMIs. Like okay, so that's why the installment is we are design here double rectangle. So that is this one is the weak entity. Sorry. So second component is that means we are here discussing entity and weak entity. Okay. So next one is attributes. So attributes, the attribute is used, that means second model components. So attributes and so many types of attributes. So first one we are discussing with the attribute, the definition. The attribute is used to describe the property of entity. That means the attribute is used to describe the property of entity. So before we are designing here the entity, this prop this proper this entity properties are described in your attribute. Eclipse is used to represent an attribute. That means before we are here designing entity is a rectangle. Now attribute is designed to the Eclipse. So for example, ID, age, contact number, name, etc. can be represented as a attribute of a student. So we are taken one entity, student entity, and the student entity attributes are so many attributes we are designing here within Eclipse. Okay. So name, ID, phone number, age, whatever it may be. Okay, I understood. So next attributes. Attributes are the key attribute. The sub attributes are key attributes. Key attributes is nothing but like before we are discussing one of the topic is in our SQL structured query language. There is a primary key like same as the key attribute means the key attribute is used to represent the main characteristics of an entity. It represents a primary key. It represents a primary key. The key attribute is represented by an eclipse with the text underline. So that means, first of all, the key attribute is designed within the eclipse and also the particular details underline. You are given underline. That means in our SQL why you are using primary key. Primary key is a not null, not taken, not null value, and also that represents unique key values. So here The student ID is only one, the unique number, not repeated many times. Only one student can got only one ID number. This ID number will not given to the another student because a student have only one roll number. The roll number not given any another student. So like the primary key attribute also represented within Eclipse, and also the main data, that means text underline, the particular details of text underline. Okay, remember it. The key attribute is represented within Eclipse, particular in text data within underline. Okay. Second attribute is composite attributes. An attribute that composed of many other attributes, it is known as composite attributes. Please listen carefully. An attribute that composed of many other attributes is known as composite attribute. The composite attribute is represented by an eclipse, and other eclipse are connected with eclipse. So composite attributes are also designed within Eclipse. What is the extra point? It composed many attributes. That means name. The student name is, we are designing it within Eclipse. The student name details as first name, middle name, last name, whatever it may be, the extension name. So the name will divide it into the sub-mode three methods, that is called composite attributes. Okay, understood. Second one is the multi-valued attributes. So what is the definition? An attribute can have more than one value. More than one value. These attributes are known as multi-valued attributes. The double vowel is used to represent multi-valued attributes. For example, a student can have more than one phone number. So nowadays, each and every student have one number, not a one number. They have more than one number because in our institution, for example, one student can join one particular organization. In that organization, the student can given not a one number. They also can given more than one number because their parent number means father number, mother number, whatever it may be. So these type of example are under multi-valued attributes. So, so fourth one is derived attributes. And attributes that can be derived from other attribute is known as derived attribute. So once again, I can repeat, an attribute that can be derived from other attribute is known as derived attribute. It can represented by a dashed eclipse. See, before we are discussing, a normal attribute can define to the normal eclipse within within any within the completion of eclipse. Now the derived attribute are represented in the dotted lines. Please listen carefully. Normal attribute are represented within eclipse, but the derived attribute is represented dotted lines of eclipse. For example, a person age changes over time, okay, and can be derived from another attribute like date of birth. So this date of birth will be, the particular age will be defined to the derived attribute. Okay, first two components are year model, two components are completed. So first one is the entity, weak entity. Then second model is attributes. Attributes are for three or four types of we are discussing here. So third one is the relationship, because these entities in between relationship. A relationship is used to describe the relation between entities. That means a relationship is used to describe the relation between entities. Diamond or rhombus is used to represent the relationship. Okay, that means these two entities can connect with to the another symbol, that is called the diamond shape, that is called the relationship entity. Okay, teacher and student can connect with the teachers. So this symbol will represent to the diamond shape. Okay. The types of relationships are follows as one-to-one relationship, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many. For example, here we are discussing with one-to-one relationship when only one instance of an entity is associated with the relationship. Only one instance of an entity. That means the female can marry only one male. So that means only one to one female, only one female can marry only one male. So there is only one instance of entity. So one female can marry only one male person. So one person can marry only one another person. So one instance of an entity is associated with the relationship, then it is known as one-to-one relationship. For example, a female can marry one male and a male can marry to one female. So two entities are represented here within rectangle. The relationship can be represented as a diamond shape. So here the relationship is one-to-one. So second one is a one-to-one, sorry, one-to-many relationship when only one instance of the entity on the left and more than one instance of an entity on the right. So one instance on the left, more than one instance of to the right. So with the relationship, then it is known as one to many relationship. One to many. One is before we are calling, many is after we are calling. So scientists have invents many inventions. So only one scientist can discover so many new things, so many new topics. So that is called one science. One can invent many. So that is one to many relationship. Understood? So third one is the many to one relationship. So before we are discussing one to many, now we are discussing many to one. For example, student enrolls for only one course, but a course can have many students. So one stu one student can enroll many courses. That means here they are one to many. But the many to one relationship is many student can choose only one course. That is the one many to many relationship method. So many students can enroll. That means many student can enroll one course. So many student also designed to the rectangle, the entity, and course also there is a one entity. But many students can enroll one course. So that's why the relationship is many student can enroll one course. So fourth one is the many to many. So when more than one instance of the entity on the left and more than one instance of an entity to the right. So many employees, so employee can assign many projects and project can have many employees. That means one particular organization, there is a work, not a single employee, right? So many employees are working and the particular organization have not a single project, many projects have. So in that, the many employees assigned many projects. That means the many projects have many employees. So that relation is many to many. So the relation is we are designing here the diamond shape. So many employees is assigned to the many projects. So this is the many to many relationship. So we are already discussing with two or three topics. Okay. So first one is ER model. What is ER model? We are discussing here two or three different topics, different definitions. We are given one example that is called one student ER model. So simply ER model. Then what is components of ER model? So what is components of ER model? So three types of ER models are there. First one is entity, second one is attribute, third one is a relationship. So entity is a weak entity. Entities are divided into the weak entity, strong entity, whatever it may be. So second one is ER model is attributes. Attributes are three or four types: key attributes, components, composite attributes, multi-valued attributes, derived attributes. And so here we're discussing how we are represent the particular ER models and the relationship. These before we are creating and assigning the ER model entities, particular attributes in between the relationship. So one to one, one to many, many to one, many to many. Okay, are you understood? Give me a second. Okay, so now we are the we're just now discussing the brief, once again, briefly. So, how to draw steps and entity relationship diagram. A step-by-step process to draw an entity relation diagram is the first step is identifying the entities. So, let me think. So, if you need to draw one particular entity, one organization structure to you are defining one entity diagram. Now, first you are identifying the what is basic entities. Okay. So afterwards defining attributes that first you identify the identifying the entities, then you are defining a particular objectives, that means properties. You are assigning the properties. So second one, specifying the relations, entities, attributes, then in between these entities, in between the relationship you need to define. So fourth step is drawing entities. Okay. Fifth step is adding attributes. So sixth one, connecting entities. Seventh one is the specifying cardinality. So, okay, cardinality means indicate the minimum and maximum number of relationship instances. So, for last one is the organizing the ER diagram, organizing all entities and all relationship in clean way for better readability and understanding. Okay. So, for example, we need to draw one entity relationship diagram like the bank entity relation diagram for the bank. So here these these eight steps are under implementation. First one, identifying entity, defining attributes, specifying relationship, drawing entity, adding attributes, connecting entities, specifying cardinality, organizing AI diagrams. These eight steps are implemented. So entities for the banker, first you are identifying entity. So which entities? Bank, loan, branch, employee, customers, account. Okay. So first step, then add adding attributes. So first you are defining entities, identifying entity. These are some basic identity entities. Then in between adding attributes. So next you are implementing adding attributes. See, you can bank name, code, whatever it may be, branch name, location. See, this is adding attribute. Establishing relationship means, so this is the establishing relationship. Two entities in between, we are defining one diamond shape, that is a relationship symbol. So this is the establishing a relationship. Okay. Specifying the coordinate for bank, the relationship one to one, one to many, whatever it may be relationship. See, don't be confused. This is very big ER diagram. You can take only simple example, simple entities, simple attributes, and simple relationship. Okay. The final ER diagram, whatever it may be, these 4, 5, 6, 7 steps are under here. So before we are discussing 8 points, just before one or two points are here taken, 3 points mostly. So remaining all points. So many to one to many, all relationship models are we are implementing here. So this is your complete final diagram. So for example, see this is the complete final diagram. So this is entity and entity attributes. This is one more entity attributes in between two entity attributes, one to many relationship, one to many n number. N means n number of one to many entities relationship. So this is a complete here. We can completely one by one implementation of your ER diagram. implementation. So this is the final complete structure. In our exam, uh, not this same as these type of examples are given. Okay, you need to implement. Okay, this is one more. This is one more example of university diagram. The database can represent using notations, and the notation can be reduced to collection of tables in the database. Every entity set of relationship can be represented in tabular form. The year diagram will be, see, can minimize for the your reference. So this is your complete one more example. uh, what is university diagram? University, in university there is students are there, course are there, lectures are there, so many subjects are there. In between student and lecture relation, between one relation, student and course in between one relation, and course and subjects in between one relation, and lectures and subjects in between relation. So students can, there is only one entity. Entity can implement to the attributes, attributes can implement to the, see, particular here, the multi-valued attributes. Here, the particular age can specifically design to the within a dotted eclipse. And also there is here, there is one primary key is defining. There is a student ID. In the text will be under given to the underline, that because it is the primary key, not repeated. So these more different types of attributes and different types of relationship here we are designing. Okay, and also one to many relationships also we are defining. So very simple. Okay, so one particular very simply say the particular organization architecture we can defining in same as a in the ER diagram. So what is we are discussing before, what is entity, then entity components are ER diagram, weak entity, and then attributes are three or four types of methods, and then after the ER model and attributes in between relation we can implement it. See, I hope so everyone can understand this topic. Okay, thank you.